Today's devotional is entitled When We Get Stuck in the Valley. All right, now picture this, guys. It's the bottom of the ninth. Your team is down by a run, and with the winning run that's on second base, you're up to bat, and the count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. The entire season comes down to this one pitch. You hit the ball, score 2 runs, you win the game, and you move on, and you guys are world champions. Strike out, season's over, and you will forever be remembered for the player that choked when the pressure was on. The pitcher winds up and delivers, and in the blink of an eye, it is finished. The sound of the ball smacking the catcher's mitt, the umpire yelling strike 3, the game is over. Adversity presented itself, and unfortunately, it won this time. And what do you do? Do you throw your helmet in disgust? Do you curse the game? Do you hang your head high, knowing that even though it didn't go your way, you still gave it your best? You see, when adversity comes, we have a mentality of kind of buckling down, getting more focused, and trying to be just the best we can in these moments, as sometimes these moments are what really defines who we are. Now, see, God uses adversity at times to strengthen his people, to get them to grow in holiness, and to become more like him. He uses it to discipline his children, much like what we do with our kids. But see, God also promised that the valleys will come to an end, and those that persevere under these moments will get the prize at the end of life. Now we see James write in James chapter 1, verses 2 and 3. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And then James continues in chapter 1, verse 12. He says, Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him. You know, trials and tribulations happen. Adversity shows its ugly face. And what does James say we need to do? He says to enjoy them, as they're going to grow your faith, which at the end will give you the crown of life. What's even more interesting is we also see Peter talk about adversity and what we're to do. And in 1 Peter 5, verses 6 through 10, he says, Humble yourself, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that at the proper time he may exalt you, casting all your anxieties on him, because he cares for you. Be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Resist him, firm in your faith, knowing that the same kinds of sufferings are being experienced by your brotherhood throughout the world. And after you have suffered a little while, the God of all grace, who has called you to his eternal glory in Christ, will restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish you. You know, once again, life has this way of throwing curveball after curveball at us. A failed relationship, a lost job, car breaking down, many different things that just kind of come at you at the wrong way. And in both of these passages, James and Peter both speak about faith in the midst of the trials in our lives. See, that's how you push through the valleys of this world, is to stand firm in the faith, knowing that God is still there with us. And Peter also mentions that when you're going through, other people on this earth are going through it as well. So the idea that you're completely cut off or isolated from God is not possible. See, there is courage here to know that you're not alone in these seasons. When life gets you down, the idea that you are so cut off from everybody else, that nobody else is going through this, is so far from the truth. There's not one thing that you've not gone through in this life that nobody else has ever experienced before. Having joy in the midst of the valley. And standing firm in the faith is going to help you into those valleys. See, life has a tendency of just coming at you at full speed. And we can't see up from down. We can't know what left and right. Day turns into night, and all of a sudden everything is upside down. Now we end up worrying more about what's going on tomorrow and the stresses that tomorrow bring, that suddenly the valley is so deep that you can't even see the top of the mountain anymore. So what do? Well, Jesus talks about this in Matthew 6:27, and then he also continues on in verse 34. And it says, "And which of you by being anxious can add a single hour to his span of life?" Any anxiety and stresses that you have, don't add a single second, hour, minute to your life. Verse 34, he says, "Therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own troubles." See, Jesus here is saying, don't worry and be anxious about anything, for the Father's going to provide. See, when we do cast our doubts and worries, it shows a lack of faith and trust that the Father has, that he's going to help us out of these moments and get us out of those valleys. See, anxiety and stress are the complete opposite of faith and joy. When you have faith and joy, the trials that happen in your life suddenly just seem so much easier to deal with than when you go through them with stress, anxiety, and a lack of faith. See, it's so easy to get bogged down in the murkiness that happens in life. When things don't go the way they want you to, when you have a handle on something and something just pulls it out from underneath you, adversity shows its ugly face, and how you respond to those moments really defines how that moment and the rest of the moments moving forward are going to be. But see, there's some good news here though. God is everlasting. His promises never break. His love unchanging. And he's always with you. See, Lamentations 3:22 through 24 says, "The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion," says my soul. "Therefore, I will hope in him." Folks, we have to take these moments when adversity strikes, grab it by the horn, so to speak, and embrace it with joy. But you also have to stand firm in the faith, knowing that God is right there beside you, helping you through those moments. When you see Peter and James both say the same thing, the joy comes in the moments when you least expect it to. You're going to gain so much more out of life, and you're going to get that crown of life. The Lord is not going to let you suffer. He's going to be there for you. That is our devotional for today. When we get stuck in the valley.